Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, December 13th. I wanted to talk a little bit about my crazy day yesterday. So as I posted on Facebook, we shechted yesterday. You were all invited to come. Maybe next time some of you guys will join me for the experience. But about a half an hour before we were set to begin, I got a call from Monty Mazal, who is the head of the Chevra Kadisha in Steylan. I volunteer on the Chevra Kadisha. And unfortunately, one of the Vatikim of the moshav, beloved David Vider, was niftar the night before. So I knew I was going to be busy that day with the tahara. I figured out with the timing that I would be able to get enough of the shechita finished, meaning the actual shechita itself, before I would have to leave for the tahara. And then Yoav would finish the work. What an unusual, crazy day. Busy in the morning hours with shechita, killing birds for our own human consumption, and then spending the afternoon purifying, cleaning our beloved human body. This is the life on a moshav. It made me think about an important point that I really haven't had a chance to discuss yet, which is why am I making these videos in English? Aside from the fact that it's easier for me, but since we moved to the moshav, I speak more Hebrew throughout my day than English. And I think the reason is that I want to provide a window into our lives in the moshav that really are fairly unique to the Anglo experience in Israel. Most Anglos that I know have moved to Anglo population centers, like where we moved from. We moved here from Ma'ale Adumim, where we spoke very little Hebrew. But yesterday was a perfect example of how incredibly strange our lives have become, at least when compared to the standard Anglo-Israeli life. And don't get me wrong, it's not like every moshavnik shechts his own chickens. I'm also a bit of an outlier even for a moshavnik, but still the idea that you come to a small place, a small community, where everybody has an important role. You know, I joined the Chevra Kadisha because there was a need for it. They didn't have any members except for Monty, and they were desperate for manpower. And I volunteered, even though I was scared. I was scared in the beginning. They opened the first bag on the table. It's heart pumps very hard. You're not sure how you're going to react. But after a few times, you are okay with it. And you realize the gravity and the importance of the moment and of the act. I'll just close with one thought I had yesterday, which I felt particularly impactful, and I don't really quite know how to process it. As you might know, part of shchitat ofot and chayot is the mitzvah of kיסוי hadam. There's no mitzvah to cover the blood for behemot, but for wild animals, deer, and so on and so forth, and birds, there is a mitzvah to cover the blood after they've been slaughtered. So I actually forgot to get that on camera yesterday. I made the bracha and I covered the blood because I was in a rush to get out for the tahara. But I did the mitzvah. So that I did before I left to go to the tahara. And then one of the steps of the tahara is just before you clothe the body in the tachrichim, just the last moment while his eyes are still exposed without being covered by the tachrich, is that you put sand in his eyes and you say, Me'afar bata ve'la'afar tashuv. And I don't know what the connection is between כיסוי hadam and covering the eyes of a mate with sand or with dirt, but it struck me very hard that moment. It was very powerful, and I can't stop thinking about it since. If any of you have any ideas what the connection might be and how they might be related and what the meaning of it all is, I would love to hear suggestions. Hello again. I just wanted to follow up with the previous video I made about taking responsibility, being on a moshav, that I realized I'm doing something else right now that's very much related. I'm going out to check the Eruv. I check the Eruv, I think it's once every 5 weeks, and it falls out today, Parshat Vayishlach, the day after I was involved in the Tahara as part of the Chevra Kadisha, and it's a big zchut to be able to take part in these mitzvot for the Kehillah. Again, it's life on a moshav a lot of it is about taking responsibility for yourselves, for your own services, your own religious services, and other things as well. At times of the war, we had our own shmirot that almost everybody took part in. And it goes along really well with what we're trying to accomplish on the farm, which is self-sustainability, to be producing our own food and to be sustaining ourselves and relying less and less on others to feed us and give us sustenance. So it all goes hand in hand. So I just finished fixing the Eruv. You know what? It's work, but what a beautiful day. It's so nice to be outside. What bracha we have to be living in Eretz Yisrael. We do need some rain, but otherwise, what an amazing day. There's Har Tavor behind me, the hills of the Galil Tachton surrounding me. It's great to be here. Shabbat Shalom.